Hello everybody. So welcome to Target Your Reading and Summarise to achieve in English functional skills. So in this video we're going to start looking at how to summarise and get the key points in order to achieve with your reading. So remember, target your reading, summarise, and to do that you need to read and think, or think and read. So we're going to begin by having a look at a text, and I want you to think about comprehension, which means, do you comprehend? Do you understand? Because if you've moved on in your reading to the higher order reading skills of answering questions, and you haven't really understood and you haven't practiced summarising your own words, that's something you need to go back and work on. Let's have a look. Hello everybody. So today we're going to look at reading, and I'm going to read through the text that we're going to use for summarising. So are you ready to read through with me? The playground's in a corner of the park, through the side entrance and up a tarmac path. It's not bad down there. Me and Jane go all the time. My big mistake was to ask Mom if we could go. She was in the kitchen, sitting at the table, yawning her head off over a cup of coffee. And Jamie was sitting on the floor, muttering on and on to himself as he shunted a conker round the carpet, pretending it was a fire engine or something. Go to the playground, Mum said. You can take Jamie with you in her buggy. So that was it. That was my day ruined. I felt a sort of stone sinking down inside me at the thought of it. Who in their right mind wants to be seen pushing a kid round in a buggy? And that's the end of the piece of reading. Now let's have a look at how we're going to use it. So if we're going to use that piece of reading, we need to be thinking about, how do we summarise? So when you're understanding by summarising, what you really do is doing a brief statement of the main points. And when you've done that, that's about putting the text in your own words and making sure that this is the foundation stone of your reading. So I'm going to have a look now at what brief statement of points might you have made. So if you want to stop the video, go back over the reading and decide what points could you make. Try to aim for 5. I use 5 because on one hand we can then think about, there are 5 paragraphs. If there are 10 paragraphs, I think of 10 points. So you're thinking about 1 point per paragraph. So this is the set of points that have been made for this reading. First of all, the 2 boys want to go to the park. Yes, they do. And one of them asks his mum. That's an important point from a paragraph. She is tired. That's relevant because we're going to be having a look at why might she be tired later on when you're thinking about higher order reading. So get the statement in summarising first. She's tired. She asked him to take his brother with him so she can have a rest. He's upset because he doesn't want anyone to see him pushing a child in a buggy, and that might be an easier one at the end to get points for. Once you've got all of that information, it's time for a break. So whatever you do in a break, sit and have a cup of tea, you maybe text a friend, and if you want to use this break to go back over the video, the next part of the video is going to be about the questions that come with the higher order reading. So the first stage of reading for functional skills is about being able to read the text and summarize it in your own words. Let's have a look at that next section. So the extension. I can summarize. Now I'm going to answer questions to show a higher level of reading. And in these questions, I'm going to use the phrase, do you think? And this is to show you that you have to think in order to work out the answer. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But sometimes we don't think about the text enough. So what do I need to think about? Well, there's comprehension there. And we talked about comprehend and understand. You've done a summary of that information because you have at least 1 point for each paragraph. And if there are 4 paragraphs, you might have 4 points, you might have 5 points. And the questions begin with a 4-mark answer. And it's really important when we look at questions that we think about the number of marks for that question, because much later down the line, towards the end of the year, you'll be doing an exam and it's important to get the most marks in that exam. So the first question is the hardest question because it asks for reasons. And if you're asked for reasons in a reading exam, you're going to get more marks for it. Let's have a look at the question. What age do you think Jamie is? And then there are 3 options: 2 months, 1 year, or 4 years. Give reasons for your answers. So if I said, well, he's about 2 months, I'd have to give a reason why something in the paragraph made me think that. If I thought of a child developing and this child is muttering to himself and shunting something around the carpet, pretending it was a fire engine, I might say, oh, he must be older than 2 months then. I think he's about a year because he's still in a buggy. So if you decide he might be 4 years old, because you might have a 4-year-old who's still in a buggy, and you might have a 4-year-old whose development means that he can only do these things, it doesn't matter because you have to give a reason. And if you just say, I think he's 4 years old, you won't get marks for that question. So reasons mean marks. Why did Mum's smile make the boy suspicious? Now, do you see there's 3 marks for that one? Because what you've got to do is look at what was happening for Mum. So Mum was yawning, she was drinking a coffee, she was very tired because you said in your summarising she was very tired. And think about if you are a mum or you know a mum when they're very tired and they have young children and they have an older child who could perhaps look after the younger child. So have a think about what reason would you smile when you say, oh, perhaps you could do that for me. So again, why? Why did Mum's smile make the boys suspicious? So it's not asking why, what was happening for Mum, what was Mum thinking? It's asking, why were the boys suspicious? Mum usually smiles like that when she wants to get me out of the way, or she wants me to take my brother and look after him. So answering the question why for the boys. And the next question, what do you think shunted means, is 2 marks because it's really asking you to just tell us the denotation of that word. That means the word meaning as you might find it in the dictionary or as you understand it. And lastly, why do you think the storyteller doesn't want to take Jamie out? It's 2 marks. Have a think about what he wanted to do, who he was with, and think about children. Why might they not want to take their younger brother or sister out? So there's a lot of thinking going on when you're looking at higher order reading. So well done for completing that. and we're going to say goodbye, and we will see you in the next video. Bye now.